in their WhatsApp group. So at least quite a lot of them I know, and they have been a very special batch to me, right? So because we are bonded very well, Cleo can clearly tell the amount of fun that we have had in that one particular batch.
Our
So I
YCMU
am
batch was
an
the most
integral part
difficult
of
batch.
their group.
Okay.
No one was difficult.
No,
A bit
we were the
challenging,
most
yes, you can say,
difficult
but
batch alive for sure. Sure, we had a lot of fun. I don't think anybody wanted us in college. Ollie,
yes.
do you
I
remember
was the last
fun you
batch.
did?
I was the last batch.
Oh, you're the last batch,
Yeah,
alright.
Kevin was from the last batch. In fact, we'll talk
I
about
heard.
that, Kevin, because Kevin had to leave after the first year
Oh
because
yeah,
we have
what?
closed
I
down
I read that. What
YC
was
by
that
that.
about?
So YCMOU shut down in Don Bosco. They didn't continue it. So we shifted to the
We
nearby colleges. So I went to Kohinoor because from Bandra to Kohinoor is short. So I
Yeah.
took it over there.
Oh,
And it's,
but has the college completely
was a
shut down
collective,
YCMU?
yes. And YCMOU has actually shut down this particular course also now because it is supposed to be an open university,
Yeah.
right? So there were a bit of an issues that YC was facing.
Okay.
So we of course had quit way back. Okay, when was it, Denver, Kevin?
yeah. This was in about 2000.
14 or 15, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
14,
joined
Yeah.
15.
us on in 2013. So from 14 onwards, we had closed. So 13 was the last batch that we took.
Yeah.
Then
Because when I
we had to
graduated in
ask,
15, that time it was over. It was out. Ours was the second last batch, I guess.
yours was the second last batch, right?
Yes.
So Kevin, you
Oh.
joined in 2013 or you joined in
No,
when did you join us?
2013 I would have known him for sure because I passed out in 2013.
Then 2014, I think I
It will
joined.
be 14
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
know
So
the
you were
2013
14, 15,
batch.
16. You're supposed to pass out. Yeah. Yeah. So 2014 was the last year that we did YC, and then we had
Yeah.
to stop with YC. So now we're continuing with Mumbai.
Yes.
And we're going pretty strong on that. In fact, this year we have had the maximum number of students.
What were your numbers
We are
at
doing
this
now.
time?
I think we are 144 this year.
Wow. I remember the numbers for the first batch. I remember the numbers for the second batch because I was batch number 2. But wow.
How many of you guys were there?
For YC, I think there
40?
were about 40 from
Yeah.
Mumbai University and another 40 students. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody.
Good afternoon,
Good evening,
Good
Annabelle, ma'am.
afternoon.
Ma'am. Good afternoon.
Sorry,
Good
we're a
afternoon,
little
ma'am.
frantic with the exams.
Oh.
So I'm going to welcome
Right,
all
ma'am.
of you. This is a challenge and a half, these online exams. I think we are panicking more than
Just
the
1 minute.
students.
I'll just be back.
Yes. So hi Denver, hi Cleo, hi Olivio, and hi
ma'am.
Kevin. Nice
Hello,
to see
hello.
all of you. It's been forever. Kevin, we saw a little while ago, but the others,
Yes.
I think Denver is the first time I'm seeing you after you graduated, both you and Olivio.
I think so. Yeah, no, I think Ollie came back for convocation, but I could not make it. I was in Delhi for convocation. I had
Right,
just
right.
started a
So
project in Delhi. I remember
Yeah.
Susan ma'am calling me and telling me how did you have the guts not to come and make it? I said, ma'am, I was in Delhi. I had work. A
Okay.
client called me. I had to leave. But yeah, I'm really
Good,
sorry
good.
about the lighting. I'm at home
No.
today and it's just
Yeah,
awful.
that's okay. That's okay. Totally understandable. I like Cleo's background. Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's really cool.
That's my
Yeah,
house.
very cool. I know, very nicely done. How is everything going at Ramban? All good?
All good, all good. Everything is good.
Yeah.
It's been 3 months we are at home. So there's no function right now.
When did the name change? When did the name change?
2015, 16, I guess 16.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
immediately when I joined, they changed the name from Aramban to from Kawaji to Aramban.
Ramban. Okay. And Prashant, when did he leave? He just left.
Yeah, he left in June,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
July, I guess, July first week.
Okay. 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 He's okay. Where is he joined? Has he joined
He's
somewhere?
not yet joined anywhere. He actually
Okay.
wanted a vacation. So he was
All
like,
right.
I'll take a big
Some
vacation.
time to choose to go on vacation during lockdown. That is fun.
He actually,
Oh,
yeah.
who was that? Prashant, right?
Prashant,
Yeah.
Gutsy fellow, right?
he just decided I need a break. I
Kevin,
need
you're
a break.
okay? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Fab, ma'am, Samir is there. His other classmate, Prashant, he's still with the
Oh,
same group.
Samir is still there. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
Samir is
okay,
still there.
yeah.
okay, okay. All right.
That was
It's fun being back in college, let me tell you, but not fun with this online exam because it's just.
True, true.
Oh,
Chaos.
But I get everyone has started,
one
right? The
second.
exams?
Sorry. 1 minute, 1 minute.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Okay. Too many
Guess
things to
everyone has
manage.
started with the exam, right?
Melroy and Jasmine are down handling it,
Right,
so
right.
we can start.
Ma'am, it's 2:30. Should we start?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome
Hello.
to this beautiful webinar. Okay. Where we are going to be talking to a few guys who are very much lovable. And these are the guys with whom we have a very long relationship. Now, as you guys know that we are operating with the Mumbai University for the past few years. But there used to be a time when at one given point of time, we used to have two different universities and we used to have two different batch of students that were working. So on one side of the corridor, we used to have the Mumbai University guys, or on the other side, we used to have these people, right? What we call as the Maharathis from the Yashwantrao Chavan University, which is based out in Nasik, YCMOU, what they are called. Okay. And I have been quite fortunate enough because I have taught all of them, right? And it was quite a challenging time at those times because on one side you used to have the Mumbai where the curriculum was a bit different, and then the next class I will have with the YC students on the other side, where again I had to fine tune to teach whatever their curriculum used to say. But saying that, it was one beautiful ride that we used to have. And we have got a few of our students who have passed out from the YC University, and they have gone on to achieve great lengths in their various different careers. So without any further ado, let me just start introducing all the guys. So first and foremost, we'll start off with the senior most, okay, not in terms of age, but at least in terms of the first guy who passed out from our college, Denver. All right.
Right.
Now,
Actually, age-wise, also, I think I'm pretty senior. I turned
okay.
31 this year.
Now, I was being just very not modest, you know. I don't want to let your age be seen or known.
That's okay. I'm done for. I'm getting married in a few months. It's okay if people know my age.
Oh, right. Okay. Congratulations on that. Heartbreaking.
Thank you.
Okay. So you're off the market, like they say. Yeah.
Yeah, completely done.
All
Done
right.
for.
Great. So let me just introduce Denver. Denver, he completed his hospitality from the YC with our college in 2013. Okay. Denver is a person who wears a lot of different hats. So he finished off with the hospitality. Then he also went on and did his diploma in bartending from Star Academy.
Yeah.
Needless to say, after that, he went on and he did his post graduation in HR and administration, okay, from the famous Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So he's an amalgamation of various different kinds of careers, and he has actually given equal weightage to all these places. So whether it's the hotels that he has worked in, whether it is the bartending that he has done and being a bar consultant over his career period, to the current job role where he is working in as an HR and admin ops manager for Jeff Goldberg. Now, we would like to hear all the places that he has worked from his mouth itself as we go further into the webinar so that he can tell us what were the reasons why he kept shifting from one field to the other, sometimes totally contrasting and sometimes within the same hospitality field, and how his education with Don Bosco and the hospitality actually helped him in take this thing further. So welcome, Denver, to the show.
Thank you. Yeah,
Right.
it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Denver. Next, we have got an Aussie guy, right, by the name of Olivia Norona. Now, Olivia decided that he finished off with our college, and he finished off from here, and he started off with the Grand Hyatt, Mumbai. He was recruited from the campus recruitments that we have in our college itself. Having worked with the Grand Hyatt for a year or so, then he decided to go down to Kuwait, okay, wherein he was with F&B service. He used to work with a restaurant in Kuwait till 2014. And then he decided that he wanted to study further, okay. And this was great. And he was having a great big dilemma as to which place he should go, whether he should go towards the north, whether he should go down to Canada or to US towards the west, or to go down south. Okay, he chose to going down to south, and he went and he did his higher studies in hospitality in Auckland. He went down to New Zealand, and currently he's working down there in New Zealand in one of the most scenic places of New Zealand. It's called Queenstown, wherein he is a cafe manager in a golf course restaurant. Welcome, Olivia, to the webinar.
Thank
It
you,
is
sir.
fantastic, and thank you for taking your time. By the way, in Auckland right now, the
Pleasure.
time is 10 o'clock in the night. Okay, so he has finished off his shift, and we are so happy to see him still fresh, like we were just discussing with Denver at the start. You know, he's looking so nice and fresh. That's probably because he's meeting all of us after such a long time. So welcome to the
Yeah.
show, Olivia. All right.
Yes.
The third one we have got on the show is Cleo. Right. Now, Cleo is from a batch which I told you is very close to me. All right. That entire batch was kind of my baby. Right. So it was fun being with their particular batch. Cleo passed out in 2015. Okay. And he went on and joined a catering company by the name of Kawasji, which later on is changed now to the Aramban Hospitality Services Limited Company. Okay. Now, the good thing with Cleo is that right from the onset, he has been working with the same company, and he has grown leaps and bounds with the same company. He started with them as a management trainee, and then went on to don a lot of different roles, whether it was in catering operations, whether it was gymkhanas, clubs, you know, working in the warehouse, starting off as a supervisor, then to an then to a manager, then reaching up to an ops manager. Today, I'm so happy to see that Cleo has become the operational manager who handles the entire supply chain, all the logistics that are going around in his catering division. He also has supplemented his hospitality degree with a post-graduation where he specialized in supply chain management to understand the nuances of how things work and how things needs to be taken care during the catering operations. So welcome, Cleo, to the show. Okay, so it's so great to see you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It was a big introduction.
Thanks. All right. Fourth but not the least, we have got Kevin. Now, Kevin, he's been with us right. Good afternoon, Kevin. He's been with us right from 2014 when he joined. But unfortunately, Kevin had joined a batch which could not finish off the entire hospitality with our college. 1 year after he finished off with his first year, Don Bosco College decided that we had to shut down the operations of YCMOU. Okay, so Kevin had to shift to another college. Okay, he finished off his hospitality from the Kohinoor College. But saying that, the very fact have called him on the show is just because he is still a Don Bosco. No matter where he finished off with, he's still a Bosco. Yeah, he loves us. And The testimony is he has been attending all the webinars that we have conducted. Okay, just yesterday I was talking to him, and he has got such a lot of stuff on his plate. Some very exciting places that he has worked. Okay, so Kevin started off after he finished off with his hospitality with the Four Seasons Resorts. Okay, and he worked with them, and then after working on land for some time, he decided that he wants to try out the cruise liners. So currently he's working with the Royal Caribbean Cruise. He's on the food production department. He's a chef down there, and he has got some amazing stories to tell us, especially on land, in sea, and the time that he has spent when he came back from the sea for a short vacation, and he had the best surprise, which we will talk once the show goes on. Okay, he has been a personal chef to one of the biggest guys that I'm very fond of, so I kind of envy him. But I will not break the surprise right now. Let him talk what it's all about. So welcome, Kevin, to the show, and it's so great to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, ma'am, over to you.
So, am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the panelists. Welcome to Nixon sir, our F&B and senior lecturer for a lot of subjects besides F&B, services marketing and accounts, and pretty much making sure that we have our admin in place. I'd like to welcome everyone that has participated today, who has come on, who are our guests. And most importantly, I'm going to bring him into the screen. There's this young man who's the second year student who takes care of our IT every single day, and he tries to balance his classes along with the webinar. And Chef Melroy, who is otherwise our IT person, amazing, isn't it? Chefs are turning into IT people. Is helping Jasmine ma'am downstairs with the exams. Today our online board exams have started. To everybody that's watching, you will wonder what this YCMOU, there was always this distinction that was made, like these were our redhead stepchildren, as one would call it, which is so not true. The only unfortunate thing was that at the time, Mumbai University had not yet allowed under a certain amount, and Don Bosco believes a certain percentage, and Don Bosco believed that everybody needed an education. Hence, we had both so that it could be completely inclusive. They will, and they will forever be Don Bosco to the core of their being. They have taken this education that they have gotten, and they have multiplied it in leaps and bounds, and made sure that their lives are of major consequence, and not just for themselves, but to impact other people. To everybody watching, it is the ultimate joy for every person who decides to teach. The ultimate joy is to see the people you have taught or you have impacted in even a small way. You've been part of their journey. You want to see them reach their potential, go beyond their potential. And this is exactly what these four young men have. They've gone beyond their potential. They have pushed themselves in places that have been, uncomfortable. They've gone to places which are not familiar, whether it is with work, whether it is geographically, whether it's personally, to push every single boundary to get to where they are. We are so proud of you. We are proud that we were part of this journey, and we look forward to this wonderful webinar. I have to say, Nixon sir always has this very soft corner and was very determined that we had this. I'm so happy that we've been able to have and get all four students. There is one more student that was on the flyer. His name is Amit Rijwani. A brilliant boy, has done very well for himself. Unfortunately, he's traveling back to Bombay.
As we speak.
As we speak. So
he got lucky. He got lucky.
In the flight at the moment.
Yeah.
So we wish him all the best. And thank you, each one of you. Thank you. And hand it over to Nixon, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank
So like ma'am said, we were supposed to have, so if guys were wondering as to there was another fifth person on the panel, uh, he happens to be in Dubai and currently he's on his flight. Okay. Just last evening, his tickets got confirmed. His visa got expired. So he had to leave the country in a hurry and his tickets got confirmed for today. So as we speak, he is on flight. Unfortunately, he lands up here only at 4:05. So by the time we would have finished off with this webinar. But rest assured, the next time whenever we have a chance, we'll certainly get Amit back. Okay. Amit also has passed out from us in 2012, went on to work with Four Seasons. Okay. And then now he is coming back from Dubai, was with the Four Seasons family itself, uh, went to a new pre-opening team in Abu Dhabi for opening a new restaurant, hotel down there, and then shifted into a new place called Holiday Homes. He has left that company now, and he's trying to pursue his higher studies, and he's on his way to Paris. So, unfortunately, we won't be having him today, but hope so sometime in the future we will get in touch with him. So, let's get the ball rolling. Okay. So, the very first question that I would like all of you to answer one by one, starting off with Denver. Uh, Tell us our journey after the college. What all have you done and where are you currently and what exactly is happening in your life?
All right. Well, I think you've already said enough and sufficient about my journey throughout college. But college was fun. College just gave me and built a very strong base for me, which is what gave me the confidence to move forward. And as you correctly said that I made a couple of jumps and I made switches that were related to the hotel industry, and a few of them were completely away from it. And that's what surprises everybody. So if I start off, I finished college in 2012, 2013. I started off with Alia Hospitality. As soon as I finished college, as everybody in college already knows, I was super interested in the bar. The first year I was interested in kitchen. Second, third year, it was all about the bar. It was all about alcohol. Um, did a bunch of waitings when I was in college. Went for especially bar waitings, which are very interesting for me. Um, Walked out of college, still continued doing a little bit of waitings. I didn't really want to get into a job because I was not sure where I was going to go. I was contemplating between studying abroad and or studying here. I decided to go and study mixology from the Store Academy. It's under Satbi Basu. She was like India's first female bartender. She's brilliant, an awesome lady to work with. Um, Studied with her for a year, worked with her a little bit, and then picked up my first, and I think my only full-time job in the hotel industry was with this company called Alia Hospitality. I worked for two of their restaurants. One was Original Gourmet, which was mainly a club. I started off with them as an a bartender or an assistant bartender, and quickly and steadily, I was with them for about a year and a half. Grew to by the time I left them, I was an assistant bar manager with them.
Fantastic.
I set up one of their restaurants in Juhu, which was Villa 69. I set that up for them, and after that, I decided that I had sufficient contacts. I knew a bunch of people. The guests loved me, and so I decided to just move on and venture out on myself. I started consulting after that. I mean, two of the biggest places that I consulted in Mumbai was the Silver Beach Hospitality Group, Threesome Cafe, which was at Vasova. Silver Hospitality Group holds restaurants like Nom Nom, which is one of the more famous ones. Um, I worked with them for about a year and a half, consulted on a bunch of their restaurants with Threesome and Copa, set up the bars for them, moved on to the Peninsula Group, which is right now at Sakinaka. This is the same Peninsula Group that holds office in Dubai mainly.
Okay.
Worked with them. That's what I did. And then post that, I was a little, I wanted to move out of the hotel industry because I didn't feel the value for money for the work that I was doing, honestly.
Okay.
Hence, I picked up. That's when I decided to move in a different direction. That's when I picked up my PGDM from Tata. I decided to study. I didn't want to put in the long hours like I was putting, because working as a consultant really took a lot for me. Because I was not only working in Mumbai, I was working in Delhi, and I was working in Goa and Bangalore as well. So it was really difficult for me to do it. The time that I spent was long hours. I loved doing what I was doing, but after a certain point in time, it just became a little too much. That's
Okay.
when I decided to make a switch. I I decided to do HR and administration. I studied from Tata, completed my studies, my PhDM with them, and then I started off a career as an HR executive, making calls and hiring people with a company called Exo Talent. It's a consulting firm. Um, then moved to Inspirelon. It's an online app that trains students like Byju's and Toppers. These guys are upcoming. So I worked with them for a year as HR head and operations. And then post that, I got a call from a friend who said, listen, there's someone um, who has this acting studio, who is looking for someone who's really dynamic and wants to work as a business operations head and take care of the entire administration department. And this friend of
Oh,
mine said, listen, you're definitely someone to do this job. You can speak. He wants someone that can speak, and he needs someone who can get the job done. So
that we
I
can vouch for, that you can speak. Yeah.
Thank you. So I spoke to Jeffrey Goldberg is the guy that owns the place, is a white guy from New York. I spoke to him, my second meeting with him. He's saying, listen, you have the job. I'm just continuing these just for formalities.
Okay.
So just tell me what you want, and then you're on board. So I've been with him for almost 2 years now, working business operations and administration. I mean, I take care of HR and all of that for them as well. But yeah, that's my journey in a nutshell.
Fantastic. Wow. That's a big nut.
Yes.
You can say that's a nutshell.
Yeah. Thank you.
But so great, so great. So it's beautiful to see that you have traveled the distance, and each and every aspect that you have done. One thing what is common was that everything that you do, you are doing it with a lot of love and passion, and that is what is needed when you're working.
Correct.
So that is also a good lesson for all our students. It's not necessary that we just go down to work just because we have finished off with one studies and we need to continue only in that particular field. If you find that there are other avenues, if you feel that there's something else that interests you, there's always that time, because each and every experience in life is going to help you in your forward journey some way or the other. Like, I have spent quite a lot of my time in organized retail, but still all the hospitality background always comes in help, because ultimately we were dealing with your customers. So even with you as an HR administration guy and all, to choose your staff, to deal with public, again, somewhere or the other, the hospitality background always helps you. Okay.
No, that's
So
right. The only reason I could make my switch to HR, or I mean, I weighed the pros and cons between the different departments or the different studies I wanted to do, and HR kept coming up because hotel management taught me to deal with customers and deal with clients and how
right,
to present myself and how to talk to them.
absolutely,
And HR just fit because I knew I could take what I learned from hotel management and just put it in over here. And
that's it.
yeah, it just worked for me in that way.
Lovely, lovely, so great, so great. Olivio, tell us about your journey.
Well, hello, sir. Good
Hi.
to see you,
Absolutely, pleasure.
and Annabelle ma'am as well. And thanks to Susan ma'am as well for getting in touch.
Right. Thank
Um, and good to see Denver, Cleo, and Kevin here,
right.
and everyone else who has joined us. Well, about me, I'm pretty excited actually to join this webinar because it came all of a sudden, and Yolanda got in first in touch with me about it, and I was not too sure. And then I
Okay.
got to know about the time. I was like, will I be able to make it or no? Because it's like 2:30 in the afternoon in India, but it's
Right.
going to be around 10 o'clock over here. So I had to think about it, whether I'll be at home, whether I'll be free or no. Well, I'm glad I've made it.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, it's nice to be here. And yeah, the hospitality journey has been pretty exciting, to be honest. lots of ups and downs, which is for sure, and was great to be part of the group in 2000 which we finished off in 2012.
Right.
Some brilliant batchmates, crazy students. I can imagine you guys will be knowing like how it was, and pretty noisy and mischievous bunch we were. And yeah, hospitality was great. Uh, got to learn a lot, and it's a very, I would say, a tough way of learning as well, because we had to go through internships and waitings, and you get to know how it is. You get a gist, you get an idea of it, how it's going to be. It's not going to be all rosy. It's not going to be like you finish hotel management and you're going to become a manager. And you're going to be
Absolutely.
a head chef. You have to start from the scratch. And in India, how it works is people are going to take you for a ride, and it's up to you whether you take it or you give up. And it's on it's a person's choice basically. Sometimes you get into a field and you think, is it going to work or no? And until you try, you would never know. And that's what I felt with hospitality as well. I was on the verge of probably leaving as well.
Okay.
And yeah, but then when I got my first job with Grand Hat, it was pretty good and pretty happy, because that was my first interview that I'd given through the campus and got selected. So
Lovely.
I didn't have to worry about giving any other interviews like Taj Lands End or Taj in the Fort or Oberoi's. Yeah, I spent good 10 months to be precise at Grand Hyatt, and I worked with a restaurant called Cellini. It's an Italian restaurant,
Hmm.
and it was a brilliant experience because it's a different cuisine, Italian, and we had this Italian chef who was from Genova, and he was a brilliant person to work with.
Right.
And I was working in the F&B department. So um, my shift, so basically L&D shift, so basically it's lunch and dinner.
Okay.
So, and I had to travel from Vicroli to Santa Cruz. So my shifts would normally start at say 12 o'clock, but I had to leave house at around 9:30
Right.
because I had to catch a train, get to Kurla, from Kurla to Santa Cruz by bus, and the traffic, oh my God, was crazy. So I would get there by say quarter to 11, 11 o'clock, and that get changed and we had to had lunch before starting our shifts.
Right.
So 1 hour before you had to at least be there, and the shifts would start at 12 and then finish at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I couldn't go back home, so had to sometimes sleep in the bunker for a couple of hours, and then your shift would start again at 7, but you had to be for briefing at around 6:30 and have your dinner before that, which is at 6 o'clock.
Right.
So after
Crazy
that,
times.
you would finish at 12 o'clock, and by the time you get ready and you leave, it's around 12:30. You'd catch the bus. I would literally, there were times I had to catch the last train which would leave from CST. I would catch it at Kurla and then get home by say around 1:15. So basically, it was a pretty much a tough journey. It's not all rosy when you
Absolutely.
finish
Absolutely.
hospitality. And yeah, that's what I learned. Was a good experience because that made me tough actually, because hospitality in India is not easy, I would say. And then I was thinking like, am I getting enough time for myself? Am I earning enough? Because the amount of money that I would get was basically peanuts, and half of that would go into traveling. I wouldn't be able to save for myself. And then you have those student loans and all those things. Because yes, it's not easy if you don't have the financial backing, or
Right.
your parents, they have their own struggles as well. So I was like, maybe I need to try something different. And I got to know about this job opportunity in Kuwait.
Okay.
And I was not sure about Kuwait. I wanted to go to Dubai, but then there were not enough opportunities, or I didn't get any interviews for Dubai. And Kuwait came for me. So I gave this interview for Al Shaya. It's a massive company in Kuwait.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, one of the most renowned companies. They are into different hospitality, clothing, industrial. So I got into this new pre-opening team, which was Cafe Coco.
Okay.
The team, the cafe was going to open in December 2013.
Uh-huh.
No, sorry, in August 2013, yeah. And I got selected in April, and
Okay.
I was happy about it because it was a big step for me in my journey. And but also I was nervous because I'm going to leave my home, my family, my friends,
Right.
and go to a place where you don't hear much stuff about. So I got selected in April, and then we had to leave in end of June or early July.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and that was the time when I left and I went to Kuwait. Oh my God, it was totally different when I got there. Uh, it was when I got there, it was like summer, it was hot. By the time I left the airport and I went out, I could feel, oh, it's boiling over here. It was literally 45, 50 degrees Celsius. I
Right.
was like, where am I? And it's a totally different lifestyle over there. Like, I'm a Catholic, and the community over there is more Muslims, so Arabic world, so it's totally different. So you had to adjust. And the people around me as well, they were young guys as well, but most of them were Muslims. And so it took a bit of time for me to adjust because
That's the
you're
culture
getting
difference
in.
was there, right?
Yeah, it is a culture difference. There were a few Catholics, and but they were quite older to me. They had enough experience. They used to work in cruise liners, and they were in their mid to late 30s. So it was a bit of a gap as well where I've had to find it difficult. I was finding it difficult to mingle around with them. But
Right.
eventually, I'm a kind of a person where it wouldn't take me too long to click as well. So
Okay.
you just have to try, and you have to get yourself open up to people. And yeah, so we started off with this pre-opening team, and it was in a mall. So the cafe was going to open in a mall called Avenues. It's the largest mall of Kuwait.
Hmm.
So it's a massive, massive mall. So but the construction took way longer than they anticipated, and we opened it in December. So literally, we had to wait for 4 months. Uh,
Okay.
and we had to go through a lot of training and stuff. So it was pretty exciting. I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of nationalities. Of course, Indians, there were Sri Lankans, there were Bangladeshis, there were Kuwaitis, there were people from Lebanon, from Tunisia,
Philippines.
Algeria, few Filipinos as well, yeah, and South Africans. So yeah, it was pretty exciting to meet a lot of people. And in that time, I used to go around and play football to keep myself, happy, to make myself feel comfortable. And yeah, I started working, and Kuwait was good. The money was good, I would say, but the lifestyle was a bit hard to, get
Hmm.
used to. If
So,
you because
so that's when you decided
because
to go to New Zealand.
yeah, because like it was too hot sometimes, or when it's winter, it's too cold. And then the people over there, like it's hard to mingle around with the locals. So it's basically you just
Right.
mingle around with the people you work, and you don't want to spend
Okay.
your rest of your day at work and then the same people outside work. So you
Right.
need to know, you need to get in touch with different people, and which was a bit hard. So I used to play football, and there were a few other cafes opening around that time. So that was good because I got to know others as well, uh, which was good because some were from Goa, and was good for me because that was much easier for me to get in touch, to have fun. And yeah, Kuwait was tough because there was no alcohol as well, so it was pretty tough.
Okay.
So there were no parties basically. You just had to go.
That was the real reason he got
Uh,
tired of Kuwait. He got tired of
One
Kuwait
of the
because
reasons. One of the reasons, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is basically no life outside work, I would say. If it's basically just gym and home, and that's about it. So I was like, I was talking to my mates over there at work, and they were talking to me about cruise liners. There was this guy who came from Canada, the other guy came from New Zealand, and they spoke to me about different opportunities which I could think about. And I'm still young, and I was like, maybe that's what I should do. So I got through this agency, and I was checking with them what I could do. And they gave me a couple of options like Canada and New Zealand. And I was actually more towards Canada for some reason, but then it didn't work out because of the fees and about a certain amount of bank balance that was needed and all those things. So the criteria was a bit tough at that point, but then New Zealand came knocking, and it was obviously a nice opportunity as well. And that's when I took this opportunity and started my studies with Otago Polytechnic,
Okay.
international campus in Auckland. Wow, that was amazing when I got there because New Zealand was a totally different place. Like you
Oh,
literally just hear things, or maybe not even hear New Zealand because it's such a small country far away from the world. You listen to about Europe or USA, Canada, Australia, but not much about New
right,
Zealand.
right.
And when I got there, I was like, wow. And I got there in 2014
Uh-huh.
in October, and it was end of spring, sorry, and entering
Just
summer. So
summer.
yeah, so which was a good time for me to get there because it wasn't too cold and it
Right.
wasn't too hot. So it didn't take me too long to adjust, and I made a few friends over there through the campus, and we
Mhm.
all lived together, and the studies were really amazing. I did graduate diploma in hospitality, level 7. So there's different levels in New
Okay.
Zealand. It's level
Okay.
5, level 4, level
Okay.
7. Then there is masters level 8 or 9. So I did level 7, which was a 1 year course, and we had around 6 subjects. So they were broken down into 2 subjects per time period of 3 months, which
Okay.
was easier and which was much more efficient way of studying as well. And we had a
Right.
lot of studies which was through online, there was nothing
Okay.
like books over there. I'd gone to the
Okay.
college, I took a rough book with me and a pen, and people literally just came with laptops to college, and I was like, wow, this is a different world. And that's when it's totally different to where you come from as far as study is concerned. And then
Right.
yeah, and then it's just online studies, online exams, which was pretty good. And then I finished off in a year's time. And Auckland is not really helpful, friendly for migrants as far as students, whether you finish studies, because Auckland is a city and it's a most one of the most crowded places as well. So to get visas in future could be harder,
Okay.
and in New Zealand there is more demand of people in the South Island and stuff. And one of my friend who studied with me, he went to Queenstown. So I was like, at least I know someone in Queenstown. I'll just go to Queenstown. And a year later, I went to Queenstown, and that's it. Like it's been 4.5 years for me now in Queenstown, and it's been an
Oh.
amazing journey. Yeah,
Okay.
the first month I worked with Copthorne, uh, and I got the job there, but I didn't really enjoy it because I felt like I'm not learning much over there, and it was just like s-
Right.
start off kind of a job, and not enough opportunities and not enough, responsibilities. And then I got this job at the golf course where they were looking for a duty manager. It's a duty manager's license you get after you do a certain course with alcohol, and that's good
Okay.
because when you become a duty manager, you can be responsible for the bar and for the license as well of the bar, and your name goes up
Okay.
on the board, and then you're the man in charge basically, which is a bonus for me, and that helped. And then coffee making skills, which I learned in Auckland to do barista coffee, so that was a plus as well.
Uh-huh.
So I had that experience, and then life at the golf course just became easy because I was working at the golf course and I used to meet the members, and the members made me feel part of a family basically. They were so loving, and you know, they look after you. They always greet you, and they see you pretty much every second day, third day.
Right.
So and plus you get to meet a lot of different clientele as well from all over
Okay.
the world, especially from Australia as well. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been a great journey at the golf course so
Fantastic.
far. Yeah,
Superb, superb. So happy to see. It's such beautiful to see this entire journey that you've gone through. A couple of things that you just said. You said that you were surprised when you saw the laptops and all being used. But right now we would say that all our students are also working on the same principle.
yeah,
Everyone is working either on their laptops or on their smartphones, giving the exams. The shift is coming in towards education, and India
right.
surely is catching up, and maybe in a few years you'll find that this becomes very much a norm, which used to
Yeah,
be quite true in those Western countries as well as the developed countries. But yes,
yeah,
surely we are also going in the same kind of a direction. As far
yeah.
as the avenues is concerned, I was there in Kuwait for almost a year, and I was just maybe 200 meters away from avenues. I used to handle
Wow.
operations for a toy store there called Fantasy World. I used to look after the
Okay.
entire operations for Kuwait. So when you told me about avenues, I spent quite a lot of my time in avenues, especially with IKEA. That's where I used to hang out
Oh,
quite a
nice.
lot of times.
I
Okay.
still love the shawarma
So
over there.
coming back, oh yeah, it's beautiful. So coming down, thank you, Olivia.
Thank
Cleo,
you.
Hello, sir.
hi,
It's
tell me.
like our college life was very smooth. It went very smooth, all because of you, you and Nika and Susan, ma'am. Thanks to
Right,
you all made our life. It was like an icing on a cake. So all ups and downs, all problems, everything was solved by you and Miss Susan, ma'am. And like
right,
for mostly all our vices, you were like a mentor to us all 3 years. So it was like a great time with you. Then, but after college, it's always a hard time
right,
because your college life is very smooth. You say it's difficult, but it's not difficult at all. But the moment you step outside your college life, it's gonna be tough. You have to
right.
you have to be responsible for your own things. First of all, get up early, go on duty, report to your managers, and the career that the line that chose was completely different than everyone else. Because when I
Right.
joined in as a management trainee for Kawaji Beramji, and we already had our ex students, seniors like Samir, Regan, Prashant, who were already there.
Uh,
So when I joined,
okay.
we had to be like onto the mark that they had set. So they had a very good rapport, and when we came in, we had to be on our toes 24/7. No
So there
matter
were
what,
very
you
large
had to
shoes
be
to
there.
fill in, right?
Yes. So that because they were the
Right.
first batch and we were the second batch who came in. So we were like, no matter what, you don't have to. The pressure was on us. So everyone in the company was like, Boscos are
Right.
there, no problem. And
Okay.
when I started,
It's so good to hear that.
so it was like uh, normally we have worked into the five-star hotels when you were in a trainings, or normally in a small restaurant. For ODCs also you would go. We would
Right.
go for in a five-star like Taj or the
Right.
Oberois for
Right.
ODCs. Here we were into a gymkhana, and here the
Okay.
scenario is totally different.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you're running a restaurant, you are taking care of banquets, you are taking care of a card room where
Okay.
people play cards.
Okay.
Okay, their drinks, their snacks, everything has to be taken care of. They have to take care of their staff. Not
Okay.
only our staff, their staff as well. Like everything has to be given on time. You have your dinner times, your lunch time. Everything is in a very particular time frame. We have
Okay.
to take care of each and everything.
Right.
And when I joined, it was like, uh, how can this new guy come into and take our place?
Right.
Because
Right.
Viva has management training, and since if you say a management trainee in our company, it's not like you just be directly into assistant manager or manager.
Right.
You have to grow from down the lowest level to the upper level.
Okay.
Within that 6 months of the probation time, you have to be on your toes, proving yourself that yes, you will be a manager one day.
Very good.
So it was like it's normally a tough journey because you're taking care of the stewarding, you're taking care of the bar, you're
Right.
taking care of restaurants. The stewards are all taking your orders. You are standing next to them, taking their orders, the guest
Right.
orders. So it's like you are going through the same process,
Mm-hmm.
doing the same routine, but you are just
Right.
one step ahead because you are the graduate. So
Right.
they
Okay.
so they push you ahead. So once there are many chances where you'll find people who will be pushing you down, but
Right.
you just have
Right.
to take
Absolutely.
the look at the bigger picture. No matter what, one day I will be ahead of them. So you just have to keep on going on and on, like how you just be confident and just move forward. So after gymkhanas, I've gone into restaurants. I've taken you to banquets. Then we used to have a contracts with gymkhanas. So when the contract was over,
Okay.
I was transferred to the warehouse. So the company had a
Okay.
warehouse. So our company is mostly into offshore catering. Like we
Okay.
cater to rigs, barges.
Yeah,
So
we will be certainly talking a bit more about that later. Yes.
yes, yes. So it's like we normally have catering contracts with the rigs and barges with the companies,
Okay.
mostly with the companies who have. Then when I was into the warehouse, it's a complete new scenario now. I've
Okay.
handled stores in a restaurant which is a small store. Okay, I know whatever's requirement. I can just give it to the storekeeper. He order it out. But here, when I enter the store, it's a completely new scenario.
Okay.
Now imagine from a restaurant of your service industry you into a complete new industry.
Right.
So initially it's very tough as usual. It's always going to be tough. Your initial 1 month, 2 months, when you
Right.
enter any new place, it's going to be very tough.
Very true.
You will have people who will be pushing you away, even if you go and ask them, because it's like I've been into this industry for so many years. Who are you to ask me?
Absolutely. Yes.
There's always this question that every senior will ask the junior. Like I'm into this industry for so many years. Who are you to ask me this question? Ki why this is kept here and why this is kept here? But
Right.
when you have a different mindset, ki I want to learn, and that is what you keep on asking them for. But
Right.
they will teach you, but they will always also push you away. Ki like kar apna kaam kar karke. It's like you do your work, let me do my work. Every industry has to
Absolutely. Yes.
every industry has to face this. But initially it's tough, but then slowly and steady when you know the work and when people around you
Right.
start noticing ki, yes, this person is learning, this person is capable of doing something. So when they understand it, that's when you step forward. It's
Right.
not hard. You take the just take a chance, take the take a step forward, say I will do it, and then even if you make a mistake, the seniors are there to take care of you.
Very good.
So just doing that, even I had my senior, I had Prashant and Samit who normally mentor me complete. They used to always mentor me. No
Right.
matter there's any problem, they were there. So I had a backup. Ki, okay, I don't know this. I knew whom to run to. Ki,
Okay.
okay.
That's
So
right.
then slowly and steadily kept on improving from a warehouse into the warehouse. Learned a lot in warehousing, then logistics, then into contracting, like how the contracts work on,
Mm-hmm.
then even offshore section how it works on,
Okay.
and along with that, while it's always like when you're learning, it's like when you're studying something, it's better you work on it. Like even when you did the hotel management, we used to go for ODCs. Whatever we studied, we did it practically.
Right.
The same thing happened with when I went to warehousing. Uh, I had a practical knowledge, means I had a short knowledge, but to know the entire picture, then I went into PG for supply chain, a
Okay.
postgraduate diploma for supply chain,
Okay.
and then from there it's going very good.
Fantastic. So happy to hear that. It's brilliant. So what you said is right. You need to be pursuing what whatever goals you want. You want to look at the bigger picture, make sure that that is the ultimate goal that you're aiming for, and then you got to keep progressing no matter what happens. Excellent, clear. Kevin, can you just share us your journey? Kevin, can you just unmute yourself? Okay.
Hello. Can you
All
hear
right.
me?
Yes, Kevin.
Yes. Good afternoon. My name's Kevin. I was in the last batch of the YCMOU in Bosco's, and during my first year with Don Bosco's, I did a 9-month internship in Meluha the Ferns. That's in Powai, the hotel by Mr. Hidanandani.
Okay.
And in my second year, I had to leave Bosco's because the program was shut down, and I had tears in my eyes when I was leaving Bosco's for the simple reason is my granddad, my mom's dad, he was at a very, very high position in another Bosco's, and he was an
Okay.
English lawyer writing for Navneet and Oxford and all.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, so when my grandmom came to the college when I was, she had tears in her eyes and she was like, I can't believe it. And I was like, don't worry, God has a plan. So I moved on then to Kohinoor. I had tears in my eyes while I was going, and so did Annabelle ma'am. I remember clearly. And moving on to my second year in Kohinoor, I did a 6-month internship at the Orchid. And it may not seem like a big thing for y'all guys, but in every single stream, I was the trainee of the year. And
wow.
I developed such a good rapport with the owner that I got a complimentary dinner
Okay.
and alcohol inclusive for 3 people of 5 people that I could get.
Oh, wow.
And
That's-
eventually I did come with my friends over there, and I was greeted by the hotel owner, Dr. Kamath himself,
Oh, wow.
and everything was on the table for us.
Super.
Nothing, everything on the a la carte, everything I could order for free.
Okay.
He liked me so much because he saw that I was really, really, really working hard.
Very nice.
And yeah,
Very nice.
it was amazing. It was amazing. Moving on from there, I came to the 4 seasons in Worli, and I worked there for about 2 years with some of the guys from our college, like Clinton was in the pantry and was in the kitchen
Right.
in the continental section. That's when I said, Kevin, do you want to live a life where you go to work the morning or afternoon shifts, and you're basically earning peanuts, and what are you doing with your life was a bigger thing, because I used to be into rock and roll. I used to be like all over into everything.
Uh-huh.
And to the kitchen. So that's when I said, you know what, Kevin, you want to see the world, you want to be into music. So why don't you go to countries where you can see the country, get to know the people, get to know the music, get to know their food, and the cruise liner seemed like a good option for me.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I packed my bags up and I threw myself on a ship, and things worked out. My first contract didn't go very well because of some troublemakers on the ship, but I did the right thing. I said, guys, I said to God, I said, it's all up to you. If this is plan, I go back. Resignation done twice because of some people, and then, but everything worked out for me well. Other people fought my case, and whatever, the troublemakers were taken care of. That's all again up to just because of Jesus. Like I say your prayers every day. It's a very
Okay.
strong thing. And yeah, second contract was beautifully now. Did 6 months this year and came back. And in between both these contracts, I came down last December, in October. And in December, I suddenly get a call saying, U2 is coming to India. And I was like, what? Really? Would you want to be their band chef? I said, who's this? And I got the call the first time. I thought it was like a fraud call, whatever. Again, I get a call back saying, would you like to be the band chef? And I was like, really? They're like, yeah. I said, done. And in 5 days, I was on the team, and we started the whole YouTube
Wow.
project which happened over here. And
Lovely.
yes, as per Nixon, sir, he's asked me to show you all this. So this is what I was gifted by the band. U2, the Joshua Tree tour with Noel Gallagher from Oasis, and the band chef.
Lo-
That was
oh,
the gift
wow. Lovely.
for the project that I did, and the T-shirt also. Yeah.
Super.
So I think it was just because I was honest, and honesty played a big part in my life. I was never dishonest about anything.
Very good. That is one of the
I think that's
lessons
my
that
journey.
you need to be telling everyone. You need to be shouting about it, because in all this thing, when it comes down to being honest, is one of the greatest principles that you guys can have in your life. Sometimes, yes, it might not work in your way of how things you wanted to go, and there is always the dilemma that should I, or if I had chosen some other way, the outcome would have been different. But then you're always compromising with the integrity, and that is not something that goes good in the long run. So it's always
Absolutely.
good to be honest,
Absolutely.
because sooner or later you will see that it pays a lot of dividends in your life. Be true to your life, be true to your work, do the best of your ability, you know, and like rest, like Kevin said, leave quite a lot to your higher ups, your God Almighty, whatever different names that we call them, okay, so that they can guide you in the right fashion. Fantastic. So it was great to hear everyone's journey. Right. So uh, just a question to each and one of you: how important it is to keep on evolving and to keep yourself updating in this current scenario. Now we all know that we have gone through these tough times, especially with the pandemic and all that. So things have not really went in a kind of projection that we had for our life. A lot of challenges that we have faced. So how do you guys cope up with during these times, and what have you done? And do you think it is really important to keep yourself up to date and to keep changing and evolving so that you have that cutting edge? Olivia, what do you feel?
Uh, as you said, sir, we have to be evolving because we can't be stagnant. We can't be at one place or one thought. We always need to be learning, I would say, because it's very important, or else you'll always be pushed back
Mhm.
and there will be challenges wanting to get over you.
Right.
Like, for instance, if I work at the golf course, like how can you make this place better compared to the other golf courses?
Right.
You know, what would you do to get those members and non-members back? Like you have to come up with a plan because in what you are trying to do, this someone else is trying to do, and you
Very
just
true.
have to be better than them because if you're not, the people are going to go to that place rather than come to you. And
Absolutely.
this always comes with ideas, it always comes with thoughts, it always comes with talking to different people and
Right.
grabbing information. And it's up to you what information suits best, what information should you take and what information should you not take, what's be going to be betterment. And yeah, it's been a really tough time in New Zealand because uh, since the pandemic, New Zealand is a really small country,
Right.
and we have overcome it in a very brilliant way. I don't know if you guys have noticed in India, but surely there were news about how there was zero cases at one point.
Right. Very
But
true. Yeah.
and saying that we did well, but it has also affected the people of New Zealand, especially in hospitality and in tourism, because this country depends on tourism.
Quite a lot.
We need people coming from all over the world.
Right.
Queenstown is a touristic town, and we could literally see the town dead for a major part. It's starting to build up again, but it's
Okay.
only the locals from the country who are traveling to
Okay.
Queenstown because the borders are closed. So,
Okay.
like for instance, a skydive company which is over here, my friend works for the skydive
Mhm.
company. So
Okay.
normally their skydives are around $370 or something for a skydive. and then you add pictures and videos which will go up to $500. But now you don't have those people
Okay.
coming into your country. Who's going to pay? The locals don't have enough money.
Right.
So you come up with a plan of locals
Right.
deal where the locals deal is like $250 for the jump, and then a combo of $100 for photos and videos. And that's how you get your business moving.
Right.
And
Right.
it's going to be tough. You're not going to make the same amount of money, but
Yes.
you have to do something. You can't be just, because you need to look after your company, you need to look after your staff.
Right.
And yeah, it's been difficult because there's been a lot of redundancies
Right.
in New Zealand,
Okay.
that's for sure. And
Mhm.
and in New Zealand, there are locals, but there are a lot of migrants as well who are
Right.
dependent on visas.
Right.
So a lot of them had to go back to their countries
Mm-hmm.
because they have lost their jobs.
Right.
And you can't stay in New Zealand for too long as well, because before the borders were closing, they were telling people to leave the country.
Mm.
So yeah, it's been a tough time at the moment,
Cool.
and hoping it's gonna get better.
Absolutely, it's gonna get better as the times go by. Once we
Yeah,
get a good news that a vaccine has been there, which surely is gonna come in. It's just a
yeah,
matter of time, and then things are gonna change. Like just today in the newspaper, there was an article wherein there are a lot of people who are inquiring now about foreign destinations where they can go for their vacation. People
yeah,
already started to inquire. So after a certain period of time, that boredom has set in, and people are looking out for an avenue where they can go out. And
yeah.
hospitality is one sector that will actually come back, and that's what my gut feeling is. It will always come back with a bang. It'll take some time, but once it comes back, then there's no turning back, because there's a lot of lost ground that we need to be catching up with. Denver, what have you done during this particular time period? Anything to update yourself, or anything that was required for your company, for your
Uh,
administration?
I mean, as you mentioned, with regards to the question that you had asked earlier, um, with regards to evolving and understanding and constantly keeping yourself up to date, that's one of the most important things that anybody in the hotel industry just needs to do.
Right.
Without which you cannot grow in this industry. This is one of the very few industries where you have to always stay on par with new trends, especially for someone like me who was a part of the bar industry, right? Who was part of the bar section. It was very important to set myself aside from everybody that was there.
Right.
Because in India, everybody is a bartender, and everybody, as long as you can pour a drink into a glass, you're considered a bartender, right?
Right.
But in order to keep myself different, the thing with India is the bar industry started getting stagnant around the time I decided to leave. And it started getting stagnant because people were not evolving in the bar. People wanted to stay with the old trends. People still wanted to see mojitos and cosmopolitans and gimlets and Boston Bus still on their shelves on their bar menus. And I had reached a point where I was like, that's not what I want to do. I do not want to change the color of a martini and give it to you. I do not want to put a different flavor cosmopolitan on the menu. It's just not worth my time. It
Right.
absolutely isn't. So it was a constant, because I was in touch with a lot of vendors, right? I got to know a lot of alcohol companies. I got to know the distilleries. What they usually do is they hold sessions, like 2-day sessions or 3-day sessions. So when I was in the industry, that's what I did. I constantly kept in touch with my vendors and went for these 3-day sessions where they teach you about the liquor. They teach you what you can do with the liquor. What are your cocktails? What are your straight drinks? Best served? How is it best served? How do you get the most out of your exotic liquors? Say, for what is the main difference between a 12-year-old and a 24-year-old, and why should you serve them differently? So
Right.
constantly going and interacting. I mean, I was lucky. I got to interact with a lot of alcohol companies. I hats off to Beefeater, Bombay Sapphire, uh, and I think, yeah, I did a little bit of Jack Daniels and a lot of Johnny Walker.
Okay.
Those guys, like by default, they would just call me. They would be like, "Hey, listen, we're doing a seminar. It's on the same lines of what you did last time, but you enjoy it, come." And there's always alcohol to drink. So I said, all right. I get a chance to drink at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm good. I'm going. So yeah, I mean, also it's a day off, right? Because I tell my company, I mean, I didn't have to really tell anybody. I was my own boss, but I would just tell them, hey, listen, I'm going to get a refresher because it's going to help the bar. So they're like, okay, yeah, sure, man. Take a day off. So that's what I would do. During this pandemic now, my roles have changed. My roles have drastically changed. I'm not as active as I was before, but it doesn't stop me from learning, right? So I'm always on my phone. Like if you see me, even right now, I was like, there was someone who was sending me a video about different marketing strategies because right now, because of the pandemic and we are an acting studio, it becomes difficult. It becomes really difficult because acting is like a group effort and it's a physical effort, and we really focus on stage. So what happens is it's difficult for us to teach it online, and then to market it online it's a whole different ballgame. We have a marketing team in place, and I just need to make sure everybody looks to me to make sure that the money comes in, right?
Right.
If we start hitting the red, it's a problem, right?
Right.
So yes, everybody in India started hitting red during the pandemic. But what I ended up doing was taking up like these short online marketing courses to understand digital marketing, to understand online marketing, and how to help your company on it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to switch into
Marketing
going to
next.
marketing. I'm not changing anymore. I'm, I'm happy. I'm happy with business operations. I'm happy with administration. I'm doing really fine here. I might take up law though, just as a side degree.
Oh, wow.
But that's just for fun. That's purely just for fun. To jog. I mean, I think my graces are just going. I just needed to do something else. And if Susan ma'am hears that I've studied so much, and she was actually shocked that I studied so much. She was like, I remember you when you came to college the first year, you didn't want to study hotel management. And after hotel management, you said you would never study again. So she's like, how did you complete all of these studies? So I was like,
Absolutely.
ma'am, it just happened. I don't know why and how. But what I realized is when you leave college, it is really important to work and start building your roots. But at the same time, I would advise everybody and anybody to just continue studying. It's not as hard as it seems. It really isn't if you manage to continue your studying right after you complete college. It lets you evolve. It keeps you up to date with trends. Facebook, not that much, but YouTube, a brilliant place to watch videos on what you're currently doing. Um, Figure out a blog for whatever department you're a part of. Keep reading those. They might get a little taxing. I prefer YouTube. I have a bunch of channels that I watch for alcohol, for the bar, not alcohol. Sorry, for the bar. I have one channel that I watch. I watch Tipsy Bartender. I mean, almost everybody
Yes.
will know who he is. I
Right.
love him. I've been following him from the time before, in fact, joined hotel management. I've been following him.
Okay.
And now he's just involved. Now he actually has a proper studio and everything.
Right.
So I've been watching him for alcohol. I'm watching this guy called Andrew, who's also a neighbor of mine. He has his own channel for marketing online. Admin work, I just read up to dates, what's going on. And for HR, and I basically want to get into HR law or company law. So that's where I'll be taking up my law degree. I mean, I'm going to start studying online, or I'll probably do a full-time course over here in India, but it will not be like a proper lawyer's degree. I don't think I will be giving the bar exam for it. But I just want to be a part of making policies for companies. That's what my interest now has moved towards.
Fantastic.
So that's what I would say.
Superb, superb. So great to see you actually using your time to the best, and like I said, we won't be surprised to see you going into something else,
No. I'm sticking to business operations for sure. I don't think I can afford to make any more changes. No. I was considering law a little bit, but then I realized no. I'd rather do just the paperwork of law than anything else. So if I do change, that's probably what I'll get into. HR law, business corporate law. That's it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Cleo, have you been doing anything during this time, especially once your operations have shut for the last 2 or 3 months, you said?
Mostly, it's the evening. Yeah, during the evenings, just playing a little cards with parents.
Okay.
So, and a little bit of cooking around.
Okay.
Just trying and experimenting new dishes, which I've
That's
never,
right.
which would be never be possible on a daily basis, because it's like when you're on duty, you leave your house at 7, come back at 12,
Right.
so you don't have any time for your parents, not even for anything.
So it's
Oh,
so great to hear, like, because now you're spending some time, quality time with your parents and all. And like you rightfully said, most of us, especially with the industry, we hardly get time to spend some quality time with our near and loved ones, So now that you have the time, make the most out of it, give the best. Superb. Very good.
this
Kevin,
is
how
like a
about you? Sorry. Yeah, clear.
this is like a really long vacation that's going on.
Yeah, I know.
Otherwise, you don't get it anywhere. Even a day off is
It's good. It's
like
good.
even a day off. It's like there'll be questions raised. Why do you need a day off?
Right,
The
right.
office, and it's like now it's 3 months at home. It's a really long vacation.
Right,
Every day there's something new to cook. Every day
right.
there's something new to taste.
So are you looking forward to go back to office, like, desperately?
Uh,
Have you reached that stage?
Maybe after losing some more weight.
Okay, okay. All right, Kevin.
Yeah, I've actually the thing is I did like I worked till about October. Then in December the concert was there, so I was working for about 10 days. 5 days later, I'm on the ship back again. So this time when I came down, I said, Kevin, you're not doing anything. You're going to take your time out. You're going to relax. You're going to sit down with your mother, talk to your sisters.
Okay.
Try to focus on life, on the life you
Okay.
have right now. So you kind of,
Right.
you just completely relax. So in the morning, I would have probably helped my mom. Afternoon, I would have done a deep cleaning of the house. Evening, I work out with my friends on my friend's terrace itself. In the night, talk to my parents, relax with the family, go out, meet some friends in my building itself, where we just chill. We talk about life. We talk about what all has been happening this year, the political issues, everything. Yeah,
Right.
back and relax.
Very good. So happy. So happy
Yeah.
to hear that. Like I said, it's always important to spend your quality time, especially with things that mean quite a lot. They are always been your support behind, and many a times when we are at work, we tend to forget the importance of them being in our lives. Okay. And you always realize the importance once the person is not with you, and
Yes.
then
For
you
7, 8
suddenly,
months in a row.
yeah, and then you suddenly start to realize that, oh, I should have spent some time when I had the opportunity to do it. So it's great to
Very
hear you doing that. Just a fun question. What was the most memorable memory of you guys of your college days? Any incident, anything in particular?
When it comes to YCs, it's always the Mumbai YC fights. It was always on top.
All right.
Then during the lectures, no matter whatever the topic is going on, Dixon sir would always give a new story coming up at every lecture.
I hope you still remember a few of them, yeah?
I still remember them. And then after that, when you enter Annabelle ma'am's office, it's like there'll be a bright light, like good morning, and it would be like, oh wow, it would be something different. So every there's always there are many, like that. If you go to see, there are many memories. You cannot count them as best. They all are best. All are really good.
Very good.
Maybe
Very good.
some may be they are very good. Some will be a bit bad, but it's okay.
Yeah, it
They,
was all
they,
part of learning,
they're
right?
all a part of life.
Absolutely.
But the Mumbai Vashi fight should always be like off the top, no
But
matter what.
yeah, it was a fight for a good cause. Like, it was always for a better cause, like, just to
Uh,
check who's to have the edge. Denver, what do you feel? Any memories
Yeah,
about college?
Mumbai YC fights were those infamous. We had a bunch of them. Um, Thankfully, none of them got physical. They were all just verbal. We always had Susan ma'am to come in and yell at us. As soon as the fight broke out, she would know, and then she would walk in. She'd be like, "All right, boys, settle down, settle down." So, but yeah, I think me and Ollie know of underground games that we used to play in YC classroom. They were backbencher games. I mean, he was a part of it. It was a whole group. I think 80% of the YC boys played those games. Cannot disclose them obviously for security
Yeah,
purposes. Yeah,
okay.
Shush, yeah. So we played a bunch of those. I think the YC we just ended up creating a super tight bond. That batch of us, us being like the second batch of the college, we've seen the college from when it was barely anything. We've seen it at a skeleton stage, and then we were there throughout, cleaning the place, making sure, like just setting in benches for the new classrooms.
Right.
And when I last came to college, I was like, wow,
Right.
like there's like so much here. I was like, I remember seeing the bakery with like this really old green oven. I said that was it. That was all we had.
Right.
And see the new bakeries now. I was like, dang. I said, ma'am, how come you didn't give us any of this? Yeah? All of these new students are getting all of this. I said, you should have taken
Right.
extra fees from us. It would have been fine. But yeah, I think my memories from college was how we just settled in and how we all just got along and made do with what we had. We had a lot of fun.
Right.
College was a lot of fun for us, and it always backed us up.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there were quite a few things that were not there during your time, but then you all compensated for the fun and enjoyment that you guys had within those limited resources that we have.
Yeah,
And
but
Reg,
also I don't think that ever affected the way we were taught in college. It didn't affect us. It didn't affect our curriculum. It didn't affect our studying growth or sorry, my bad. Our learning growth or our
right,
learning growth. We were always given the best, even though there was limited, even for the staff and the faculty.
very
Even
true.
though they had limited equipments and limited teaching
Resources.
material to work
Yeah,
on, they still gave us the best of what we had.
very true.
I think we were probably the most pampered batch, I guess. Uh, I'm pretty sure we were the most pampered batch. We got everything we asked for. We never asked, we rather demanded, and we got it. We were the ones that created the most amount of noise in college, for sure. I don't think anybody can deny that fact. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was all done in a spirit of, I don't know. We none of us took this to our hearts. None of us, wished ill for anybody. We had a lot of fun in college. I'm just saying. It was. I miss college. I honestly miss college. When I come back to college, even I'll probably get there probably in 2 weeks to get my transcripts. I'm applying to leave Bombay.
Okay.
So I'm looking to get into college to get my transcripts in place. Uh, I think I'm going to come back to some really fond memories.
All right.
Yeah.
Olivia, anything that you
Uh,
remember?
Denver pretty much covered most of it, you know.
Right.
It's yeah, it's crazy because when we joined the college, I remember still our classrooms were next to each other, the YC and the Mumbai, and it
Right.
was basically just a plank of wood between the two classrooms. And literally, if you
Yeah.
knock, the classroom would get to know,
Uh-huh.
they could hear the sound, and it's just we had a good time. During the breaks, we would go upstairs and play table tennis, or maybe
Yeah.
go to the ground basketball court and play football. And yeah, just have like pretty much matches with the engineering group, the mechanical group, and used to be fun.
Right.
And when it came to YC, yeah, we had a really good time, especially with Mumbai as well, because I had a lot of friends in in Mumbai University because few of them were from my school as well. So because of them, I got to know a lot of them in and made friends with them, mingle around with them. So it was not like I was only stuck with the YCs, but I
Right.
used to be with the Mumbai University as well. And some of my friends would be like, you spend more time with them rather than spending time with us.
Right.
And yeah, and we used to look forward for waitings as well because that was one way of earning money and just having that extra pocket money basically
Right.
to eat or maybe to buy something, and even we used to drink as well after we finished. So yeah.
Okay.
I I just want to
So
add.
yeah,
Yes,
tell
Cleo.
me, Shubham.
Yeah, I would just like to add. It was like you're talking about waiting. Our ODCs. Our ODC used to be always fun. I used to stay at Bhinder, and we used to go for ODCs. Our college is Vidyavihar, and our ODC used to be in Churchgate or otherwise in Bandra. There were times when we left. We used to come to college, go for the ODCs, catch the last train and go home. There were times when I've actually slept in the last train and I reached Virar. Next day morning, get up, come home, change, again go to college. It was like there were situations like that during college.
Right. Very true. Very true.
And I guess we were the batch who were very privileged. You know, we started the first wood fire oven. Then the restaurant was inaugurated by us. Our first team lunch was into the new restaurant,
Right. So a lot of great memories. Yeah.
and a lot of pampering by Nixon sir, especially by Nixon sir.
How about you, Kevin? The one that you were here with us. Any memories about the college?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used to work and I used to come to college. So there was this one time when I was really tired, and I just said I put my head down, and I slept. The whole classroom left with Sir Andre for a lecture in the from the classroom to the
To the
big huge classroom right in the front of the second floor.
Okay, the audiovisual AV room.
Artists would demonstrate stuff and all of that stuff.
Right.
And I slept the entire time in the classroom and no one even knew. I mean, I started running around. I said, shit, I'm going to Annabelle ma'am's office today for sure. I met Sir Andre. I apologized deeply after the lecture. And he didn't even know that I wasn't there. I mean, it was the first time like he never realized I wasn't there and whatever. It got away. But otherwise, yeah. I had some good memories with Glenn Chef, with Mel Chef, and Elenka ma'am. And I was basically taught by them. So, I mean, yes.
Lovely.
It was all good. But I think this was the best one. I slept without anyone knowing anything.
Right. Great. So do you guys have any advice for the students?
Work hard, enjoy college.
Okay.
Leave college, you'll want to go back to college.
That's quite true. That's a vicious cycle, right?
Yeah, that's a vicious cycle.
When you're
but
in
no,
college, you always feel like, okay, I need to get out. I need to
yeah,
have
yeah.
a
I'm going to
job.
work now, and life's going to be rosy, and I can earn so much money out of waitings. When I start working full time, I'm going to get more money. So it's
Yeah.
right to school. It's not like that. Harsh reality is
Yeah.
you're going to go to work. You're going to work 9-10 hours a day. You're going to come home super tired, and you're going to be like, okay, college was so much better. I could just take yellings from my principal and my faculty and study a little bit, and it's fine. Yeah, I mean, my advice to anybody who's leaving hotel management, and since you guys are already in hotel management right now, advice would be get your foundation and your basics right in college while you're in college, while you have access to your faculty and you can ask them questions and get them resolved. So get your base right before you leave college, because once you go out there, you're on your own. You're really on your own. Very rarely are you going to find people that will actually help you or will want to help you as a person to grow in the industry. You have to constantly keep evolving and studying. You can never stop studying in the hotel industry. If you become a chef, or if you become a baker, or if you get into the bar line, any of these avenues, you have to constantly keep studying. Front office is a little bit easy. I'm sure my front office ma'am, after hearing this from me, would probably kick me in the ass for saying so. But it is. Front office housekeeping is a little bit easier as compared to the other streams. I think cooking is, I think becoming a chef is a very difficult avenue to explore. Evolution and evolving is very important. It's really, really very, very important. For people who are serious about the bar industry, my advice, and I'm sure a lot of you all will disagree with this, would be to figure out a way to move out of the country, like all of you here. The only reason I say this is also one of the reasons I decided to move out of the industry. And don't get me wrong, I really love the industry. It's just that the value for work that you do here, I think, is slightly lacking. We're getting there, but I don't think we've got there yet. And people don't give you recognition. They really don't, because your restaurant and your hotel runs because of your chefs, your bartenders, And these are the ones that are grossly underpaid and no recognition given at all.
Right.
Which is why a lot of smart bartenders and smart chefs are looking at, moving out to Australia and New Zealand, for example, all of you as well, moving out because it's just much better, much easier. The working hours are the same. The pay is a little better.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Olivia, for the students.
Yeah, Denver said pretty well over there. I would really second that because basically for students, I would say like make sure have a plan. I would say have an idea of what you want to do, where you want to go, where you want to see yourself. But once you finish it, it might not be the same as well. You need to be prepared with challenges because maybe you want to get into cooking, into kitchen line, but once you actually get into the hotel line, you might not really enjoy it. So you need to be prepared for that as well. You need never stop learning, never stop learning about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to do. Like basically my mantra is don't be afraid to fail, but be afraid to not try. Unless you try, you will never know what you really want to achieve. Like
Fantastic.
for me, yeah, for me, I was thinking, oh, maybe when I'll join hospitality, I'll go on the cruise. I know a lot of people who have been on the cruise, made money, but it doesn't work that way because when you go on cruise, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. You have to sacrifice your family life. You have to give away literally 6 to 9 months of your life to work and then come home basically for 2 or 3 months and then be prepared to do that. And for me, I felt maybe cruise line is not for me, but I would like to work on land where in case in future, if I have to settle down, at least I can bring my family along with me and I can settle down. So all these different aspects and criterias you have to take and keep in mind in order of, planning and moving forward in life. And it's hospitality is not going to be easy, especially in India. Like it's so much easier over here because over here when you work, you get paid hourly. So if I work for 9 hours, I'm going to get paid for 9 hours. If I'm going to work extra 4 hours, I'm going to get paid for 4 hours. So no one is going to take my case and make me work extra and not give me the salary. So
Very good.
here life is balanced out. You work and you earn for the amount of time you have worked. And there's a lot more to do apart from work as well. So don't just dedicate your life to hospitality or to hotel line and leave your personal life aside. I would say make sure you're happy, make
So
sure
how
you learn and you keep yourself motivated as well because you
yes.
never know what opportunities are going to come and you have to be prepared for it and make your own opportunities as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Clear?
I would just like to add up. It is when I started, it was in the initial time. I had someone who would mentor me. I had someone who would show me the right way. But not everyone will get the same thing. Okay, because to know, you just have to be confident. You have to be positive. You have to be calm. The best thing, you have to be calm. See the bigger picture, and then you move forward. There will be times when you will be like, why did I take this decision, or why did I take this line? I don't know what I should do. These will be questions that will automatically come into your head. There will be situations ahead. But just for a moment, take a step back, think what you should do, take the positive side of it, and then you move ahead. Because it's like there will be difficulties in life, but you should always see the positive part of it. Be happy. Keep upgrading yourself. Like keep on studying into whatever you want to do. Like in it's your first year, kids it's a first, everyone is confused like what I should do, what I should not do, which line which department I should take it, which department I should leave, or what I'm going to be good into. You leave that all thoughts behind. You just have to focus on focus on something, and just choose one particular thing that will make you happy. Like for me, service was, I used to love service. You send me into a restaurant and I will do whatever. I will serve the guest and make him. I'll leave him with a smile. But it's like after a certain time, you might be bored of it, or you might leave interest, means lose interest into it. But but when I shifted into warehouse, I still had that, like I should have been there. Okay, so never feel that. Like you, whatever you just do your best in it. Just study,
Very true.
listen to all. I know it's like this online classes. You are missing all those small takes, and what the teachers will about the teachers teaching you, your friends around you. That just keep it aside. Just focus on your studies right now. Because after 6 months from now, you will start deciding on your own self. Ki like yes, I'm ready for this industry.
Right.
Industry will be hard, but you have to take a step. Like
Superb. Superb. Kevin?
I would like to focus on, firstly, I'll start off with values. That's one of the main things in this industry. Values cannot be taught; they're imbibed. If, if you feel like you're short of certain values, read about it. Talk to your parents. Have a good conversation. Try to improve yourself, because this is one of the things that will always you. So when you walk into a room, it's not like you're waiting for someone to say good morning and then you're going to talk to them. All of this is not working in the real world. If you're polite, if you're good, if you're honest, people can trust you. And trust is the most important thing in this industry. Because, I mean, say for me, a couple of years ago, I got to cook with Gary Megan, and I cooked with him about twice now. And there was this time when he counted the truffles, and he had asked me to pack it up for him later on. He counted it, and when I met him in the hotel lobby to give it back to him, he in fact told me that I knew how much was there. I just wanted to see what kind of a person you are. So I mean, you will be tested in this industry if you're honest and true to yourself. This industry is for you. Secondly, the advice that I would like to give is work hard, because that's the only thing that will help you. It might not, in India, it might not be seen by our managers, you might not be praised about anything, but someone is always watching you. Take it from me, someone is always watching you. And people who, if they see that you're a hard worker and you're genuinely a nice person, they want you around with them. And automatically, when you have such people around you, you develop that kind of a team that wants you around, that keeps you around, that will fight for you, that will be there for you. And call me lucky, but I think it pays off. I think it eventually does pay off.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I think a good to have a good workspace, you need to be nice. For example, I'll give you an example. When this pandemic started, the executive chef on Royal Caribbean and I used to pulp garbage every single day. We took on the stewarding jobs because all the stewards were sent home. We did everything. The executive chef from France, a very, very, very big chef, was the executive chef on our ship. Coming straight from France, knowing everything about culinary, didn't give a damn. Constantly working together after closing dinner and lunch, and going and doing everything else. So I mean, cleaning drain holes, pulping garbage, different things, everything. So never. So I mean, like he has done a lot in his life. I have done a lot in my life, but we don't say, oh no, we are on a pedestal. We can't do this. We can't do that. Guys, learn to do every single job, and whatever you're told, take it positively, because that's the only thing that will make you feel better about yourself. That I learned something today, and life is all about learning till the day you die. Yeah, I think I've covered up everything.
Right. Absolutely. Brilliant. It's just so great to see you guys giving into insights of what the students should do. And the students who are here in the webinar, please listen to all this, because these are words of wisdom and these are come out from guys who have experience. And these are something that we always try to inculcate within you guys. So keep your integrity, be honest, do the best of your ability. Like I always give the example of a sponge. Okay, be like a sponge, absorb all the information from all places, and periodically you keep squeezing it out. Things that you don't require, just get it out of your system. Don't let it clutter into your minds and this thing. Just keep all the stuff that is beneficial for you and which is beneficial for the others around you. Create an aura which is beautiful so that everyone loves having you around. Okay. It was fantastic talking to you, ma'am. Would you like to say some words?
Yeah, I'm sorry I lost you all out for a little bit during the culmination of the exam because it was painful. But I watched enough to know that I am beyond proud. I said it just with the emotions of having seen you all, but now having heard you, it's a reconfirmation of how proud and privileged we are to have been part of your journey. The one thing that I want to say to all the first years who are watching, you know, the ringing endorsement for Don Bosco and the amount of fun that these students had. I feel sorry that you are doing your classes online and you are not getting the full pomp and stance of what it is to be in Don Bosco. But we will get there. For the ones who have missing it, the second and third years, trust me, we will cram as much as fun as we possibly can the moment we get back. To all four of you, you are an absolute joy and pleasure to see, to hear, and to know exactly that you are headed in the right direction. Thank you. We wish you first Denver all the best with his new, besides all the new careers, you're taking on the most important career in your life. Marriage is one of the biggest tests.
Right.
Yeah, and I know that because I didn't take it. So, so I wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Olivia, are we getting a Kiwi?
No, actually, it's already
Oh, so sorry.
booked
Congratulations.
from
Did I
Virtual.
not?
No, no.
Okay. Congratulations. Cleo,
Thank
we
you.
know, so congratulations to you. You know, part of being in Don Bosco, we have a whole stream of Don Bosco couples. And he has
Cheers, brother.
joined the ranks of the couples that started off in Don Bosco and continue. Kevin, thank you so much. You know, the fact that you stayed connected to us. I know there's a whole stream of people, Kevin, from what I've gathered, right? No, I'm kidding. I wish each and every one of you all the very best, and please come and visit us. What we have definitely planned is that at some point in time when the pandemic is done and they allow us to gather people together, we are going to have every single panel of every single webinar that we've had come into college for lunch, a tour, and a little bit of an exposure to the students. So we look forward to that when we can see you face to face. I'd like to thank Dixon sir for making sure that they are all here. We wish each one of you. I want to thank Melroy Chef and Justin who are with me, Andre sir, Roma ma'am, Chef Prasad, and Susan ma'am who has been literally on the battleground with the exams. And all the students who have come on to this webinar and who I'm sure are going to take back all these words of wisdom and you know, they may not think of it right now, but as they evolve, it starts filtering through. So thank you very much. And I really look forward to seeing you all in person. Thank you. Thank you, Nixon, sir. Thank you, all of you, Denver, Olivia, Cleo, and Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure chatting with you all. You know, fantastic.
It was a pleasure being here, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
All the very best. Have a great
Thank you.
life. Stay safe.
Bye bye.